A whole lot of snow is being dumped on our nation's capital and across the Midwest. More than 55 million Americans are on alert because of this deadly winter storm. This hour, states of emergency have been declared across 6 states. This morning, at least 3 deaths are being blamed on the brutal travel conditions on the roads. Thousands of flights have been delayed or canceled, many of those in D.C., where heavy snow is falling at this hour, and it could reach historic totals soon. Much of the city shut down, but a very active scene is happening outside Capitol Hill as lawmakers are expected to soon certify the 2024 election despite this snow emergency. Meteorologist Derek Van Dam standing by for us. But first, let's get to where the snow is. Gabe Cohen in Washington, D.C. We can see that conditions are still just as rough as they were earlier. Tell us what's going on.
Yeah, Sarah, plenty of snow still falling this morning, and you can see it's really been accumulating throughout the morning. There are several inches already on the ground, and we're expecting that only to increase throughout the day. That's why, as you said, there are those states of emergency in place across those 6 states, including here in Washington. Really, this area feels frozen right now in more ways than one. We know that schools across this region are shut down. Federal government offices are closed. Roads, what should be the start of a busy morning, a busy commute, really not happening. Most of the cars that we're seeing here around the Capitol are law enforcement vehicles, and that's because, as you mentioned, while so much of the district, the Capitol, is shut down, the nation's capital, the actual Capitol building, is not, because we're expecting the certification of the presidential election a little bit later today. Law enforcement on high alert throughout the day. They have been coming into this event, not just because of what happened 4 years ago on January 6th, but also that recent attack in New Orleans. We know the local police department fully activated throughout this week. Every officer in the city is deployed on the street working 12-hour shifts, and we have seen just countless vehicles coming in and out. We just saw a New York Police Department vehicle go by. It tells you the cooperation and the resources being brought in from all over the country for this important day. You can also see the fencing that's gone up around the Capitol speaks to some of the security concerns that we are seeing. We will see how the storm impacts that, but again, the certification expected to go forward as planned today, Sarah. The snow, though, is going to disrupt a lot across this region for so many families.
Yeah, what a difference 4 years makes. Lest we forget, 4 years ago, there was an insurrection and an attack on the Capitol. This year, you have snow making problems trying to certify the vote. Let's go now to Derek Van Dam, who is going to give us some update on where this storm is going and when and just how bad conditions will get.
Yeah, Sarah, you know, traffic is a nightmare in D.C. on a good day, but you add in the several inches of snow that have already fallen and the additional snow that is still to come, and we've got ourselves some serious problems on the roads and in the skies as well. And I promise you, the Lincoln Memorial is in the background there. This is a live cam. You're looking at Washington and the mall there. Of course, snow-filled, and the snow continues. A large, expansive storm system stretching from St. Louis all the way to the mid-Atlantic. And of course, we've got ice to the south and rain towards the southeast. But this storm stretches over 900 miles. We've got our winter weather alerts in place. And this is significant because look what happened in Missouri. We had cars sliding off of the highways, and then check out this 18-wheeler. Yeah, that's sliding on ice, almost jackknifing right in front of this motorist. Dangerous driving conditions with the storm moving through. So the temperatures are supportive of snowfall. Lots of dynamics are happening with this, but what I'm noticing here is just to the west of Washington, a bit of a drying trend. So will we make that historic snowfall total? Still to be determined, but not looking likely. We have to go back to January 2016 when we saw a storm total over a foot, and we called that the Snowzilla snowstorm on the East Coast. Many remember that. But additional snowfall to come, a good 2 to 4 inches in and around the nation's capital, higher amounts in the mountainous terrain. But we can't forget about the ice component to this storm, bringing difficult driving conditions across Interstate 70, 95, and then, of course, this is weighing down tree limbs and electrical wires. So we already have 250,000 customers without power across this area. Sarah, behind this, the coldest air of the season settles in.
This morning, a state of emergency has been declared in Kentucky as a powerful winter storm has been bringing dangerous and potentially deadly conditions there and across huge swaths of the country. I'm going to show you what it looked like outside of Lexington, Kentucky, as some of the worst of the snow is hitting. A car flipped over and a number of accidents like this one have also been reported. Joining us right now is the governor of Kentucky, Governor Andy Beshear. Governor, thank you so much for coming in. How bad of a hit is Kentucky getting from this storm? How are things going right now?
Well, this is a very significant winter storm. Yesterday, we got 6 to 8 inches of snow across most of Kentucky. And then most problematic was the ½ an inch of ice that hit everywhere from western Kentucky through the I-64 corridor. ½ an inch of ice is bringing down tree limbs, is bringing down power lines. So it created two major problems. One, the roads became really treacherous. We had to help about 280 stranded motorists. We had a lot of jackknife trucks, a lot of backups that thankfully we were able to respond to. But then the second piece is we've got about 90,000 Kentuckians without power at the moment. And we're really racing against time because it is going to get really cold on Tuesday and Wednesday. Especially, and Thursday. So we've got today and part of tomorrow to get power up to as many Kentuckians as we can, because with wind chill, it's going to get dangerously cold.
Oh, I was going to ask when the temperature was going to help you out, because when you have ½ an inch of ice across much of the state, I mean, that's often worse than the snow, because it takes you need the temperatures to really help you kind of get things back, melted and back going, make it less treacherous. I mean, when do you think you'll be in the clear? What do people need to know if they try to head out today knowing this?
Well, today what they need to know is they should stay home and stay inside, because while we've cleared the snow, say for most of our interstates, ½ an inch of ice is incredibly hard to treat if it's on every part of that road. So while we can spot treat, while we can do our best, you need to believe that any road you're going to drive on is going to have ice. Now, when the temperature falls, like it will, especially Wednesday and Thursday, but really even tomorrow, the salt doesn't work as well when the temperature gets colder and colder. We also have some wind gusts, which are challenging, because all those utility workers that are out there and in the buckets that have to repair those lines, when the wind gusts get too high, it's not safe. So we're asking people to stay off the roads, both for their safety and for the 2,300 Kentucky Transportation Cabinet workers that we have out there, as well as all those utility workers. I ask people to remember those are Americans that leave their families to try to protect us, and we have a duty when we're out on the roads to protect them as well. But like I said, we've got 2,300 transportation workers out there. We've got about 300 National Guard that are helping to get nurses and doctors to nursing homes and hospitals where they're needed. We've got utility workers that were pre-positioned. So thankfully, through our news, through a bunch of great meteorologists, we had a lot of advance notice of this storm. We've taken it seriously.
Yeah.
And because of that, while we've had some injuries, nothing major thus far, no fatalities, and we're very thankful for that.